Hi and welcome everyone, it's Lavender Sky Panther with you for another fun little card reading today, and this time kind of celebrating the spirit of 0808 Lionsgate. It's a 2024 year, so that's also an 8, so we've got 3 8s going on. I also have some very beloved people in my life who were born on Lionsgate 0808, so there's a lot to celebrate today. I am back outside again, and actually amidst a lot of heat and mosquitoes, so this may be a quick reading just based on that latter part about the mosquitoes. I did bring out an outdoor yard, like a jumbo incense stick that has lavender, citronella, and a few other things in it to hopefully ward off the mosquitoes. So we'll just see if it can do its job. Anyway, that's my little disclaimer. Also, since I am outside and I do these shows in one take, I don't edit them. A rooster decided to pipe up right when I finished setting up the table, so you're probably going to hear a rooster, maybe some blue jays and some other noises in the background. It sounds like green parrots just went overhead, but I think it's adding to the ambiance of this reading today. Once again, I am outside. I'm doing this under an oak tree, and I'm facing west as the sun is now setting, and I hope to, pull and draw off of some of the earth energies. Although when we look at Lion and Leo in August, a sign of Leo, that is a fire energy. So I have brought a little candle out and this little protective lantern to represent the fire aspect. And I do have, the only cats that I have available for this little backdrop are this kind of panther looking one on the left, little panther / jaguar, however you like to look at it. And then just for fun, a little pun, I have dandelion root tea. So we've got the lion and the dandelion. I also brought the black tourmaline back out for grounding and protection. Okay, so just from any negative things, which there should not be. So what I did this time, instead of just shuffling cards and watching for the ones that jump and pulling them out and doing a reading that way, this one I consciously went in. I think I've only done this once before with another theme earlier on. I was guided to go to every single deck and pull out a specific card. So in this case, I didn't go to all of my decks, but a good representation of them, and I pulled out every one that had the number 8. So it's going to be showing strength, justice, confidence, and a few other messages. So what I'm going to also do is read where I can from the books, the little companion messages, and then if any other messages want to come out, yes, they will. And that's going to be it for now. That's kind of the gist of how it's going to go. So I don't have a specific order in mind, but what I might do is just kind of hover over each card in general, like kind of glide over them, gloss over them, and then I'll just pick up each card as I feel like it. I may get to all of the cards, or I may not, just depending again how I'm led to do this thing. There might be some that are skipped over, might not. Eventually, after this video uploads, I will put what the decks are in the description area. I think I've got about 18, which reduces to a 9, which is a nice number of completion. But today, I think the heading or the title of this is going to be all about the 8s, or all about the 8, okay? So let's get into it. Oh, and before I do, one little fun fact. I think many of you may know this already if you found this video, but 8 is nice because if you turn it on its side, it's also the infinity symbol, more or less, depending on how you script out that 8 with what the font is. All right, so let's get into this. I do know, and bear with me as I go between the cards and finding the right book to read from. I've tried to earmark each page, but I may have to fumble through the book a bit. I'm going to start off with this one, though. This is from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle. I may not call out each one by name, but if, I've posted all of the decks, after I've posted all of the deck names in the description area, if you are, looking for a specific deck and you're not sure which one it is, instead of like going through the list of 18 and doing internet searches to try to find it, if you have a specific question and I can help you out, just go ahead and email me to my YouTube channel email address, and I can answer your question of which deck, if you're interested and can't find the deck or don't know it already. All right, so this is from Sufi Wisdom, and we have this card, and it says, "Face your fears, farewell to fear phantoms!" exclamation point. And I'm going to put this one right up here by this lantern, because we've got little stars. We even have the stars etched in on the glass. And this one also, pardon, my referencing Star Wars, and like, usually I don't, but the last couple of readings I think I have. But I have to do it because this one is just very much screaming to me the vibe of a Jedi Knight, their symbol. So like, that star at the top, and like the lightsaber or the sword, light sword, heading right up to that star. Well, anyway, I want to read from the book because it is Face Your Fears. And again, we're doing everything that has to do with the number 8 or the 8 card in tarot. This one doesn't have, I should go back a step. This one does not have numbers on it in this deck, but this one just captured the spirit again of strength, of no fear, and that's why I picked this one, Face Your Fears. So I'm going to read from the book right now, and I think this is, let me just go ahead and get into it. All right, so farewell to fear phantoms, was the other little subheading there. So here it goes. Enter the lion's jungle. Don't think about getting hurt. Fearful thoughts are simply phantoms of the mind. No one is harmed in this jungle. Everything is compassion and love. Your fear is what holds you back, like a bar behind the door. And that's by Rumi, a quote by Rumi. You are in the presence of divine kindness and generosity. Allow it to lift you beyond ordinary consciousness. Open your heart to the gift of faith and trust in divine protection. When you become aware of the presence of the divine joy giver within you, you awaken to the spiritual power that is already embedded in your nature and recognize that you have been created for joy that can lift you beyond your limitations. Okay, I love that. And then the next card from that particular deck, we'll go right to it, and then I'll do a little pan over all the cards because I realized I didn't do that yet. That leads us right into a nice little segue. There were 2 from this deck to me that represented, the 8 card, and I'm going to remove this after I go over it because I want that other little star card shining bright. This one says, limitation is power. Lean into your limitations. And you know what? I do want to read from the book on this one because I'm very intrigued of what they're going to have to say. And this is a very well written companion book. So give me a moment to get to that alphabetically. Hopefully it gets right there. But I do want to read this one because I have a feeling there's going to be a good message in there. Yeah, here we go. All right, here we go. Limitation is power. Lean into your limitations. Okay, here comes another quote from Rumi. Don't look for water, become thirsty. Necessity develops organs of perception. Oh man, increase your necessity so that you may increase your perception. Okay, now comes the little companion text. Do you have a great idea that you have placed on the back burner just because you thought it required resources outside of your reach? Well, the great mystic Rumi is talking to you. He wants you to realize that the flaring fire of inspiration is mostly sparked through limitation. Necessity provides incentive, which is the mother of all inventions. It only takes love and extended faith to make it happen. The Oracle is guiding you to embrace your new ideas creatively, to capitalize on them through your innovative capability. View them as opportunities rather than problems, and you will marvel at the brilliance which can evolve from limitation. Limitation is the fertile ground in which the seeds of creativity sprout and grow. Challenges, when approached positively, become helpful in getting creative juices flowing. Remember, dear one, to be ready to adapt. Be flexible, prepare to bend, and make shifts as it becomes necessary. When unexpected things happen, do not see them as obstacles to your creativity. Respond with imagination and a new way of looking at them that becomes part of the creation itself. Improvise within the conditions and create with what you are given. The more you become aware of this process, the more you can affect what happens. There's a little mantra. I am determined to lean into what seems to be a limitation and allow it to create a shift in the way I perceive the experience. I realize my limitations will allow me greater freedom of spirit and soul, which is a precious gift of divine grace. Okay, how beautiful is that? I also would like to say that when we can shift our perceptions, that's kind of the definition of a miracle, is when we can change our perception to see something greater and more magical. Okay, so that's it for those cards in that deck. I'm going to move this card back down. Now let me do this before I forget and go all over the place. I'm just going to do a quick little, I know there's a little bit of glare on some of these cards, but let me just kind of glide across some of these beautiful cards, and then just in general, and then I will hopefully get to each one if I can. So yes, we've got the big cat and a smaller cat energy here. I have the Lord of the Rings deck. There's Gimli with strength. We've got water represented here too. And we've got the Mystical Shaman Oracle. The Answer is Simple deck. We've got a lot going on here. And we've got the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. And a few others. Okay, so that just gives you a little preview of where we're headed. And again, I'll try to get to them all, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. We'll see. Okay. All right, so now we're going to just do a straight read from, I'll just kind of, I guess, hold them up one at a time, just so you can really see the beauty of some of these cards. This is number 8, and they're all going to be 8s, or the Spirit of 8, Kindle Love. This comes from the Wisdom of Hafiz deck. Give me a moment to find it. Here we go. Okay, sorry if I do shaky, wobbly camera work. I'm just holding the camera phone in my hand on this. Okay, so actually let me just move in a little more. Kindle Love. The eye and body, a sacred candle, tenderness and compassion ignites. It is in your best interest to be very tender with yourself, to forgive, understand, and adore the complex wonder that you are. When you kindle loving compassion inwardly, you also radiate it outwardly, and life begins to respond to that choice. The cells of your body and the very cells of the air are compelled by that energy, creating a love vortex. And so what I want to add to it is that, okay, that strong bond of love, there's nothing stronger, than love itself. And that is, then translates to 8, Kindle Love. That's why it's the Strength card in that context. Okay. All right, now we're going to move along, and I'm not going to read companion books for everything, but let me just kind of see where I want to go next. Okay, this one is from the, what's this thing called? I'll call it out when I think about it, the Runic Tarot. Okay, and then this one is the number 8 Strength card. And you know what? There's a whole lore behind this, so I invite you to read and look that up on your own. But here we go, Strength. And this one, I'm not going to remember the exact names without reading the book. Actually, let me see if I can get to it quickly. If I can, I will go from the book. If not, I'll just do it by what I remember reading in the book about her and the bear here. Oh, I did find it. Okay, let me just give you the explanation from here, the image description. Okay, and again, I hope you can see it well enough. And man, that rooster is not letting up, huh? All right, maybe it's a wake-up call, literally, to listen to something that's coming up on the horizon in this deck for you, in this reading of all of these decks for you. Okay, the goddess, and I'll probably mispronounce it, but I'll do my best. The goddess Thrud bows her head on the brow of a white bear. She wears a dainty wreath of flowers that make her red hair dazzle. She dresses in light armor and pants, and leather bracers appear on her forearms. Thrud gently cradles the bear's face in her hands. The bear bows his head in kind and has his eyes closed. There's a feeling of trust between the two. Fairies float and dance around the pair in the woodlands. The rune for, I'm not going to say this right, but I'll try, Wunjo, glows slightly on the bear's neck. Meanings. Thrud is the Norse goddess representing strength. The daughter of Thor and Sif is well known for her battle skills. She bested the creature Alvis by asking him all sorts of questions. She kept the two of them awake all night. When the day came, Alvis transformed into stone, therefore showing that strength doesn't necessarily mean external power. It also shows the fortitude of understanding and learning. Okay, there's more, but that'll do it for now. I think that gets the point across. Okay, then as I was looking through this deck, there was that Strength card, but I also, the 8 caught my attention here with the shields, and there's more runes and meanings there too. I invite you to check those out on your own. And again, I'll put the name of the deck in the description area if you want to look that up and do a search. I think if you just search it in each card, I think they do pop up the extra meanings on it for you. So this one is just, I don't know, I felt like bringing it up, 8 of Shields. Just the idea of strength sometimes is defensive and sometimes it's offensive. And you can have, physical protection, but you also have the spiritual protection. So the idea of the circle alone, there's a lot of spiritual practices where you draw a circle maybe around where you're standing, and to represent protection. Yes, of course, some of these practices can be used for good or for not so good. So anything that I talk about is in the positive aspects and the divinely connected ones of loving light. not false light. Okay? So there might be something about circles that have a meaning for you, and protective circles. Later coming up, we've got the idea of stone circles, because there's a stone that implies like a Stonehenge idea with a trilithon. And then we have another one in the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck coming up. Okay. And then I just pulled this other one too from this the kind of runic tarot deck, because it had an 8 on it. It's an 8 of Wands. And it just reminds me that, you know, strength, part of being strong and having courage, and you know, justice is also sometimes represented in as the number 8 in all these decks. Just the idea of that when things seem their darkest, you know, there's always hope, and there's always light. There's always the divine watching over us, even though we might not be able to see it, okay, with our physical eyes. All right, that's all I want to say for these particular cards. Let me just put them back in the order I had them. Okay, now we'll go to this one. I'm not going to do any book reading on, but we have a beautiful card showing strength, number 8. And again here, this is a Celtic, I think a Scottish fairy tale. And some of you out there may know what it is. I did not go and research it, but this is also showing a number 8. And it looks like there is either a dragon, you know, I think that's supposed to be a dragon in lion's clothing, so to speak, instead of a wolf in sheep's clothing. It looks like some type of dragon in lion's clothing, but I have no idea, so don't go by that. Just know that that's just another strength card, and I really like her fiery energy, even translates into her hair color, right? Okay, now I think I'll come back over this way, and let's go to the Mystical Shaman, or Shaman, depending on how you like to say it, Oracle deck, and it's number 8. I had this come up in the reading a long time ago. So it's called The Circle, and I will read from the book on this one, and I'll try to keep this more or less. I'm sorry if pardon if I wander around with the camera, but again, I'm just holding it, and no tripod. All right, the Circle. There's 3 divisions of how they, I think I'll read them all. There's 3 parts to this: the essence, the invitation, and the medicine. So let's do this. The medicine is usually when the card pops out in reverse, but I'm going to read them all because there might be something in here for you and for me. Okay, the essence. Unification, interconnectedness, and a sense of continuum is what this card implies. The circle reminds us we are all one, dancers in a unified, continuous, inclusive circle. This card reminds us of the cycles of life and the evolving self, ever-changing and always connected. Human, spirit, nature, the cosmos, all intrinsically connected. The invitation. When the circle appears, it reminds you that you are connected to everything and everyone, including to spirit. Spirit's essence beats in your heart and inspires you to co-create your world, knowing that you count, that you have purpose in this world. Imagine, even a smile to a stranger can change the course of a life. When the circle invites you to dance in the sacred steps of life, know that your work, your love, your service brings greater value than you can know. Stay the course, keep dancing, and all will be well. All right, the medicine for the circle. When the circle comes as your medicine, you're meant to come to an understanding of the importance of decay and letting go, the importance of dying to an old form and being reborn anew. If you are faced with the challenge of loss or disappointment, remember this. In the circle of life, nothing is ever wasted. Love will seek itself again. Prosperity will come from a new idea or opportunity. And spirit always waits for you to find your place in the dance again. Wow, holy goodness. That last message on the medicine, I didn't know I needed, but that definitely was for me and for nobody else. I will re-listen to that and read it again after this reading. Wow, powerful. Okay, now other decks, we have this one, and that's a number 8, strength, and we're reminded of the gentle power and the fierce power. So the gentleness of the lamb and the power of love, and then we have the more fierce power, although a lion also can be gentle, but we're reminded of the courage and the strength and the fierceness that is also needed and needs to show itself. You know, we need both aspects as a part of strength. At various times in our lives. Then we have this one. We're moving on to a little bit of water energy here, although she's got a bit of fiery colors in her scales, in her tail, the mermaid. And we have number 8, strength once again. And here, you know, whales can be considered, especially this kind, more of the I think it's baleen whale, when they just use their brushes in their mouth as like a filter, and they don't have like sharp teeth like some other whales. But this one can be referred to, you know, as a gentle giant. But also look at the power. I mean, that the whale just exudes power, is power, and embodies that gentle power. Although it can also show a little bit of fierceness, I'm sure, if its loved ones, you know, are in need of protection out there in the open sea. Okay, and again, this is representing two aspects of gentle power. She's not, you know, pulling and struggling with that net. She's very easily making a nice circle, actually like the card we just had, another circle imagery. She's able to open that up into a nice circle to allow this whale to easily glide upward and escape. So again, just another reinforcement of the concept of gentle power versus, or by contrast, a fierce power. All right, now we're going to look at the Lord of the Rings deck, and this, if you're not familiar with it, I think you'll still get the gist. I'm going to read the companion. It's not a book, it's like a map. It's really pretty cool. Okay, number 8, and this is Gimli. And I think that's a goblin he's wrestling with, or an orc. I'm not sure which one. I think we'll find out when I read it. So here we go, strength. And give me a moment to pull this one up. I guess I have to kind of read it off camera so I can focus on it, but I'll just try to hover here over the image. Okay, strength, the character Gimli, the one wielding the axe. No one's bones are tougher than those of the fiery dwarf Gimli, whose courage infuses his entire being with bravery and honor. As strength, he imparts lessons of resilience, vigor, and stability. Now, this did come, you know, I'm just reading them all upright, but I'm also going to read the reversed in case there's any messages in there for any of us. So when it's upright, it says, whether it's discovering a family tomb in the dark mines of Moria or defending a pack of orcs, Gimli never backs down from a challenge. His appearance means that you are being guided to follow suit. Although you may be entering or in the middle of a difficult time, remember your own strength. You don't have to swing an axe to fight a monster. Sometimes it's enough to wield emotional stamina. You will emerge victorious and ready to fight another day. All right, in the reverse position, being strong doesn't mean you have to prove it every moment of the day. Just because you're feeling defensive doesn't mean you're being attacked. Don't let your temper and ego outweigh your intellect. Take a step back and examine your motives before you turn friends into opponents. Yeah, that's pretty valuable. So far, the reversed messages, or the medicine messages, I'm finding even better than the other ones in upright position. Okay, now we're going to move on to Bobcat Spirit. This is interesting because we're deviating a little bit from the strength, justice, and kind of courage type things. But we have a beautiful image of a bobcat, and this is Bobcat Spirit. Life is a mystery. Ain't that the truth? Let me see if I have the book on that one. Yeah, I do. Hold on one second. All right, let's just see. All right, let's just see here. Okay, sorry about that if it paused. Not sure. Somebody had an incoming call and now is not the right time. So anyway, let's get back to it. So Bobcat Spirit, I was just saying this is just a really beautiful image. And it says life is a mystery, and I was just saying, ain't that the truth? So I do have the little companion book, and let's just see what it has to say. So the message is, the bobcat moves furtively and mysteriously, and when Bobcat Spirit appears to you, she brings a powerful reminder that not all things in life can be explained or understood through the power of the intellect. Trying to figure things out, find logical explanations, or predict what will happen based on reason and facts will not provide you with the certainty and comfort you seek. Bobcat asks you to trust in the great mystery and let the secrets of the universe reveal themselves to you through direct experience. Allow your vision to slip into soft focus, and you will see between the lines and observe what has been hidden there all along. Bobcat Spirit helps you know intimately the pulse of the divine in the world. Trust in the wisdom and revelations that come to you, yet know that understanding may not come as you would like it to. What you experience through your heart and intuition, which comes to you as the voice of your inner knowing, will guide you now as you accept the secrecy is woven into the fabric of existence. No matter what, the appearance of Bobcat Spirit is a sign that you are being called to trust, even when what is revealed does not agree with your need for intellectual certainty. Protection message. Bobcat Spirit tells you this is not a time to reveal your deepest, most cherished dreams and desires to others, but rather a time to be quiet and gentle with yourself as truths begin to emerge in your awareness. Self-protection is called for, so be discerning, selective, and even secretive, revealing no more than is necessary. People have a way of imposing their opinions on you, so pay attention to whom you surround yourself with at this time. Be watchful and check your own motives as well as those of others as you keep your secrets to yourself for now, rather than expose them to those who may potentially misunderstand your intentions or may not be supportive. Let your logical mind take a rest as you start to perceive the energy of your environment. Bobcat Spirit wants you to be stealthy and wise and keep your own counsel. Let yourself be a mystery yet to be revealed. Now that protection message was if it came up inverted or reversed, which it did not in this case. However, that may apply to somebody out there. So if you're having some kind of rough patches with relations, or people that you come in contact with where you're just getting that vibe that there's kind of an energy under there, a little elusive energy or shaky energy, like they might not be able to be trusted, or there's somebody that's maybe nice to your face but might be talking behind your back. You kind of know. You'll know if it's kind of somebody you want to speak your innermost things to or not. So when in doubt, just kind of be more on the conservative side. You'll know if you're in the loving presence of somebody who will always have your back, versus not. And even so, like they say, use discernment if you want to speak more about what's going on with you, or just keep it a little bit private for now. There's a time and place for everything, right? All right, now we're going to move on. We have another Bobcat, so I'm not going to read this from the book, but this one just says, how can I go higher? And I've actually covered this on another reading once. And then climb. So just the imagery, maybe there's something in there, and the idea of climbing, and how can you go higher, just might be something that is a little message for you in and of itself. And if not, we're going to move along. Okay, this one is Lion Honor. Honor your soul and celebrate its journey. And actually, I did want to read that, but I didn't bring the book out, so we're going to just skip over that one. But that's yet another number 8 energy, even though it doesn't have 8 there. Maybe even the symbol, is something for you to look into. Maybe those are the depictions, those symbols of the 4 elements. And the 5th, they say, is ether. So I'm talking earth, water, fire, and air, and ether. Okay. Now here's another mountain lion card, not just lion. And this one says, is my pursuit both honorable and focused? And so we've got, this particular group of cats for the 8 energy is, talking about honor, and actually look at the wisdom in that face, even though it's a little cartoon-like drawing. So anyway, is my pursuit both honorable and focused? We'll leave that as a rhetorical question out there in case that applies to you. You'll know if that's a question that you need to look further into or not, okay? And here we go. Now we're going to move into a different deck, and here we have the one that I was referring to as Stonehenge-like, with a trilithon there, a megalith, and this is number 8, the liminal dance, delicacy, fragility, transience. And I'm going to read from the book on this one. Okay, hang on one second as I pull it up, if I can pull it up here. Here we go. Okay, so on this one, amidst the standing stones of the ancient ones, within which lie codes to recall and remember who we are, dance the wee folk, whose dance re-energizes and protects these great stones. Their delicacy and their fragility cannot be denied, but nor can their strength and their power, as these unseen beings move around and about in forgotten pathways, weaving to life the land beneath their feet, ensuring the memories within the stones do not die, but connect again and again to those who open up to their timeless messages. For you, dear friend, it is time to remember that within the forgotten places lie the things you too once knew, and you have powers within you arising, ready to be embraced. You are a being as delicate and mysterious as the fairy, as eternal as the stones, and if you simply begin to remember, you will recall all that is. The simple acts of remembering, of standing strong, of knowing there is more to this world than can be dreamt of, will remind you of the eternal dance. You too have within you delicate powers, and at times you too are fragile. There is a transience to our bodies, as they will not be the cloak of our souls forever, but within this impermanence lies great strength and beauty, too. Dance the steps, take time to remember, and let the in-between places within you come back to life once again. And there's a little illumination message. Your every step has magic in it. Do not despair. Walk and dance with intent, and let the shape of your days be created with your will. All right, that's a nice message. And we're going to move along. We also have number 8. This is from a flower-oriented deck with beautiful woodcut, woodblock carving kind of cut prints in here. And this is Confidence. And the flower that they're looking at here is Poet's Narcissus. So on this one, I invite you to go and look that up on your own if you are so guided, okay? I didn't bring the book outside with me. This one is another beautiful card, beautiful energies, the fire, light, orbs, with I guess it's a young woman with beautiful violet, radiant energy there on top, riding a panda. And it's 8 of fire. And I actually pulled this out while I was looking in another deck. And even though it's not, I was going mostly with the major arcana for the number 8s. But this one was just so beautiful. So it captures the fire energy and the number 8. So I just went with it anyway. And strength, I'm just going to echo a message that was covered already in some of the other cards. Sometimes strength is simply also having the power and ability to be adaptable and flexible, like the bamboo. The bamboo sways and bends but doesn't break, right? So sometimes too, when we're tested, we may bow all the way down and bend all the way down and back up, but we don't break. We've got that fire within, that divine light, that spark who we are, the divine spark, and we keep coming back up, right? That's the energy that it wants to speak of right now. All right, this is a beautiful card, and this is coming from the Kuan Yin Oracle, the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. And we have this beautiful image, and it says, number 8, the Snow Shepherdess, and there is like a sheep off to the side, and the wool that keeps her warm and keeps the strength of the lamb or the sheep. I'm going to read from the book on this one, and here we go. Okay. The Snow Shepherdess, I come to you with news of unexpected life. Something that seemed once impossible, without energy or hope of success, is coming to life. Not only is this an unexpected happening, but it will be taking place when you think it least likely. I come with the decree that life shall have its way, no matter what circumstances appear to dictate, and in the midst of great loss, scarcity, or denial of life, a blessing of abundance, fertility, and new beginnings will be given. Guidance. Out of apparent emptiness, something surprising and beautiful is going to happen. The Snow Shepherdess is an omen of the most unlikely sort of success. She brings with her a blessing of the energy of life in the midst of what may feel more like an ending. It is the triumph that happens unexpectedly after hope was lost. Feeling defeated can be a painful experience for the mind. Yet if we are holding on too tightly, we can suffocate instead of animate what we want to flourish in our world. The Snow Shepherdess brings you reassurance that it is okay to let go, to loosen your grip psychologically and emotionally, and even allow for endings to happen. Those endings are only steps towards new beginnings. Remember that nothing is beyond the power of life, not even death, for life emerges in new form again and again. Place your hope in life, and you shall gain blessings of healing and comfort, no matter how final things may seem. Love and life will prevail according to a greater wisdom. I'll read that last sentence again. No matter how final things may seem, love and life will prevail according to a greater wisdom. How beautiful. All right, now we're going to move along to 2 more, and I do not have the little companion books for them. And then I'll see if any other messages want to come up that aren't just scripted or read from these books. And if they are, great, and if not, that'll wrap it up. So we've got 2 more cards. We have number 8, Justice, Archangel Raguel or whatever. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs, and that definitely does key into the power represented, in these cards with the decks with number 8. Now, I do talk about it. I'm not a big quote-unquote fan with the whole archangel concept. You know, I know a lot of people are, and that's great if you're finding that they are, you know, true messages and of the loving light. There are also some that can be deceptive, and there is some speculation, you know, stuff can be debated, where some of them might actually be fallen angels. I'm just going to throw it out there. So they once were, you know, quote unquote good, but have fallen. So I know there are a lot of people that do channel out there and really connect in with them. And I would just say a little caveat, just make sure you are connecting in with the, you know, the good version in the timeline and not, you know, the fallen one. Or if it is the fallen one, that they're not leading you astray. Okay, that's all I'll say. Just a big one I have a little bit of a caveat with is those like Metatron. But anyway, I'm not here to tell anybody what to believe or not. Just maybe look into it a little further. Make sure you're connecting in with a beautiful, loving source that won't like turncoat on you and start doing some other things. That's all I want to say for now. That's just my perception, and could be totally off there. But that's in my world. That's how it works. See what's right for you, right? Obviously. Okay, number 8. Be courageous. This is the Answer is Simple deck, and has, you know, like a Joan of Arc energy, so we all know that story of being courageous. Has nothing to do with your age. You know, some people stand up for what is right. I recall I did in the middle of a huge church. They were saying something that absolutely to me was crazy talk and not of love, and I stood up. You know, I think I was like 13. And I knew, you know, all eyes would be on me, and I was saying not the popular thing in the room, but I made my speech in the name of love and treating others fairly, and then I did not go back there again, by my choice. But sometimes you'll know, you know, when it's time to stand up. I'm also getting, don't beat yourself up if you had a pivotal moment in your life where you look back and you're like, oh, I should have stood up, especially if it was for, you know, on behalf of somebody else. I was the type of kid, I know others are too in this community, you know, if you found this channel, you're probably one of those who often like champion the underdog. You know, if a lot of people were taking abuse and they weren't strong enough to stand up for themselves, I would come in, even if it meant, you know, detriment to me. I didn't even think about it. I stood up strong and for that other person and for their right to be not harassed or bullied, or worse. But anyway, it's just a message of don't beat up on yourself if there was a moment. I've had those too where I'm like, oh, I should have done more. I should have stood up in that moment, and maybe it was a time in a setting where I didn't. Don't go hard on yourself. Just know that if you were meant to, you would have, and you would not have been able to miss. God would have made sure that it, you know, flowed through you, spoke through you in that moment. And if you didn't, it just meant there might be another time or place where somebody else is going to be divinely tapped to take on that role. Okay? All right, so that just came to me on that one. Be courageous. But yes, live courageously, live fully. That's, I think, what I'll end on that little message there. And I'm just going to come back up. So that's it for our little Lionsgate messages, all about the 8s. And I just want to say, as always, I really appreciate everybody, especially if you stuck it out through the full reading. But thank you to all of you if you've stopped by and checked out anything on my channel. I know it might be confusing for some because, yes, I do these readings, these spiritual card readings. I also show a lot of beautiful nature scenery and cloak and craft and things, anomalies happening up in the skies. So I do it with intention to keep it all on the same channel. Because it's kind of like something's, you know, got to work for everybody maybe. And if it doesn't, you'll know what it is and just gloss right over it. And there is happily, right, a fast forward button or a stop or cancel out button, right, if you don't want to see a certain video as you get into it. Anyway, thanks for being here. All of you are truly loved and appreciated. And I wish you a beautiful right now and a beautiful continuing on with the 8-8. And if you're already skipped into 8-9 in your time zone, have a gorgeous and glorious 8-9. All right, take care, everyone. Best wishes. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.